Hey friends, good morning. What's up? Welcome back to my channel. Merry Thriftmas day number 20. Getting a super early start for me today. It's currently 7:30 a.m. and I left my house about 45 minutes ago, and I'm currently sitting outside of an estate sale, and of course I wanted to bring you guys along. I found this sale online. I'm always looking at estatesales.net and just seeing any kind of sourcing opportunities around me, and I came across this sale which was actually nationally advertised. So this was sent out to like a ton of people, I guess, in the surrounding areas. And the reason I wanted to come to the sale is because they had a ton of cool like vintage items, and it looked like they might have some vintage concert t-shirts and like a ton of Beatles stuff. And then they also had really cool looking mid-century modern like decor and furniture, and who knows, this house just seemed full of really interesting vintage finds. So I definitely wanted to come check it out. And this one starts super early. It starts at 8 a.m. I feel like a lot of sales around me start at like 9 or 10, and I wanted to get here early because it's nationally advertised. So I just got here. It looks like there's about 20 people in line so far, which isn't too bad. There's a lot of different sellers in the Atlanta area, and who knows what people are looking for. Like some people have vintage booths or like sell online, and yeah, you just never know. So about 20 people in line. I think it's definitely going to be more crowded than the previous estate sales that I've shared with you. So I'm gonna take you guys inside, see what we can find, and just going in with like positive mindset. I always think about my girl Alana in this situation. My friend Alana, who is Try On Thrift on Instagram, she just has a really great mindset, and she's a really fun like reseller to follow. I love her stories, so you should definitely check her out. But she always talks about how what's for you is for you, and I just love that way of thinking. So I'm gonna go in there and think about what's for me is gonna be for me. I don't believe in the whole like competition, throwing elbows, anything like that. We'll just see what we can find. So let's go ahead and wait for the next 30 minutes and then go inside. So it's really cold this morning, so they're actually handing out numbers, and I'm number 38. So there are 37 people in front of me, and I don't think that's too bad. We'll see if there's a limit as far as how many people they let in the house. Sometimes they limit it based on space, and since it looked like there was a lot of stuff in this house, we might not make it the first round, but we'll see. Okay, at about 10 till 8, I went ahead and walked up to the house, and as you can see, there were quite a few people out there waiting around. The yard had a bunch of like yard art and sculptures in it. And at about 8 o'clock, this is how many people were ahead of me, and they were starting to open the doors, but only letting a few in at a time. At 8:09, I still probably had a good 15 people ahead of me before we got in. And then here I am. I made it inside, and you're going to see the house is pretty small, and it is packed full of stuff. So we were moving kind of slow. There was, I think, 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, and this hall closet on the right is actually where I found a ton of stuff. So that guy got out of the closet and I got in there, and there were just some really, really cool jackets, and that denim one definitely caught my eye. There were some bags hanging in the corner. So it's going to be hard to like show you guys as I'm shopping because I was trying to use both hands. I might need some kind of camera that I can just wear and not hold. But yeah, I was going through this closet and basically making a pile of anything that I would be interested in, and kind of making decisions later about what I would keep and what I would pass on. It was also a little dark in here and hard to see, so hopefully you get an idea, but a lot of leather jackets, vintage leather jackets. So again, just looking through and finding whatever caught my attention. And I did spend quite a bit of time in this closet. I realized there weren't too many people looking at clothing, so I was really taking my time. Most people were looking at some other collectibles that you'll see later. I'm going to take you on a tour of the house because, like I said, it was kind of hard for me to shop with you guys. So I went through and grabbed the stuff that I was interested in, and then taking you through. There were a ton of vintage handbags, the like chain kind, which don't really do that well for me. And then there was this Rolling Stones t-shirt. They had this priced at $50, and it was not vintage. It was just like a regular reproduction. I was trying to show you the label. So that was definitely too high of a price in my opinion. But now walking through the rest of the house. So this room, pretty crowded. It had a ton of collectibles again, and they had just so many different collections. I didn't even know what all of the stuff was. Some old telephones. It was so interesting to me that someone just collects all this stuff. I don't know why. I don't have a collection of anything myself. Maybe I need to start collecting something. Let me know if you guys have collections of anything. I did see some costume jewelry in this room, but it wasn't necessarily my style. It was more just like that cheapy kind of costume jewelry, some old wallets. I did see a lot of like clip-on earrings, those vintage like enamel or metal styles, some barrettes. I was sad because I did want to find some jewelry because I just love old unique pieces, but it wasn't meant to be today. I did look in these drawers, but these seem more like just those kind of plastic bead necklaces. Okay, and then over here was the Barbie section. Pretty much any Barbie you could want, they had. Still in the box, there was a James Dean doll. All kinds of accessories and other dolls. I forget, my mom said she saw in the pictures there was some kind of doll she collected that started with an F, and now I can't remember. And all these old McDonald's toys, remember when people used to collect all those? They had all of them in the packaging. And then in this closet was yet more Barbie stuff. Pretty much a Barbie collector's dream. Okay, heading into the record room. A lot of people, when I was talking to them in line, were here for the records. There was just so many. There was a David Bowie one. Seemed like a lot of these people were serious collectors, and yeah, they were going through pretty thoroughly. There was some other like rock and music memorabilia in here. A big Beatles poster. They actually had a whole nother section with Beatles stuff. This room was pretty crowded. There were some like vintage and regular band tees in this room as well in a closet. I do think I missed a lot of those because even when I was waiting in line outside, I saw some guys coming out that had already purchased t-shirts. So the ones I saw in the pictures were already gone. There was like Ozzy Osbourne and a couple other things. So the ones that were left were the ones that were not vintage, like this Kiss shirt. And they had them priced pretty high, in my opinion. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think around like $35 or $45, which in my opinion was just too much for resale and for not a vintage tee. And then a lot of like cartoon and comic book t-shirts. I don't know a lot about comics, so I didn't really know if any of these were worth anything, but it didn't seem, again, like they were vintage or anything special. So I passed on most of the t-shirts, but I did pick up one you'll see later. And then back into the other room, which I already looked through. This is the room where most of the women's clothing was. She had a lot of old perfume bottles, that really cool star lamp. I thought that was pretty unique. A bunch of fur coats and jackets and tons of outerwear, just a lot. And a lot of chain belts. I did find a couple belts in here. There was some mid-century furniture. To me, that looked like a mannequin wig holder, but it said it was a mid-century piece, like a decor piece. And then here's the closet, which had lots of clothing, some wigs and things, some sneakers. It was a good assortment of clothing. Like I said, mostly vintage. And over here on the bed is kind of the things I think people just put back after they looked through. Going back out, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the house was 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and then there were like 2 living areas. So this was like the main living room. And again, it was kind of dark in here. Just looking through, they had some Gone with the Wind stuff, all kinds of pottery and little figurines that I have no idea about. I didn't know what any of these were. I saw a lot of people picking up some smaller figurines, so I'm guessing they knew their worth and what they were, obviously. And then this was the Beatles bookshelf. There was a ton of Beatles stuff. Old lunchboxes, books, videos, just all kinds of Beatles collector's items, which is cool. I loved the rug in this living room. I thought that was really fun. And also they had some Longhorns up there with tooled leather in the middle. I kind of wanted those, but I didn't really know where I would put them. I decided not to get myself any decor. If that rug had matched my house, maybe I would have gotten that. It was huge though, and probably needed a good cleaning. A lot of like mid-century bar items, salt and pepper collections. There's a bunch of Coke memorabilia in there. And then there was a lot of old Christmas stuff, those ceramic trees that I see a lot. And then in the kitchen, some different barware and glasses. I had sold some glasses like this previously, but I'm not really doing home stuff anymore. So I was trying not to look at too much of this stuff. There was a ton of Pyrex. Again, something I don't really know much about. This was later in the sale, so I think a lot of the more desirable Pyrex had already been grabbed. And then just more kitchen stuff. Like old school glassware. Some kind of creepy clown items down there. And the last area is the garage with yet more collections, more records. Tons and tons of records. Like I feel like they had almost every record that was ever made. Some other collections. I think there was like Star Wars or Star Trek stuff. I'm not really sure which one. I didn't look too closely. There were trains and like model cars, model airplanes. And then a lot of old neon bar signs, which I have heard those can go for a lot. That's not something I would be interested in selling or shipping. But it was cool to see. Some Cheers stuff. And that was it for that house. It was full. This was my pile before I sorted through it and decided what to keep. It's much later. I am home from the sale and I thought I would just share my thoughts on everything before I go through the haul of items that I picked up to sell over on Poshmark. And that sale was super crowded. The house was pretty small. It took me a little while to get in, but when I got in, I was pleasantly surprised by the clothing and stuff that I found. I couldn't really tell from the pictures that there was a lot of clothing besides like the concert t-shirts I saw, so I was excited. Although I will say the prices were a little bit higher. When I go to estate sales, like typically the first day you can't like bargain or negotiate, so some of the stuff I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to pay that price. This sale was held by a company that I had never been to one of their sales before. It usually says online like who's having the sale, and I didn't recognize the name, but they were super nice. But they did have higher prices, so what I did was I went through everything and I kind of picked out the items that I thought were a little more special that would give me maybe a bigger return on my investment. And you'll see I got a lot of like jackets and bags and just stuff that I thought I could sell for a little bit more versus just buying like a bunch of stuff that maybe I could make smaller margins on. So what I did is I got together like my pile and I was looking at some stuff up front that they had in the case. They had like jewelry and some nicer handbags and sunglasses and stuff in the case. So I was looking through that and I was looking at a bag and I was like kind of thinking about it, debating, and I was gonna put it back. And then the guy that was running the sale was like, oh, I'll do that bag for XYZ price. And he gave me a really good discount on it. And I was kind of surprised because it was the first day, it was crowded, and I was like, if he's willing to give me a deal on this bag, maybe he's willing to give me a deal on my other stuff. So I had like my basket of stuff and I said, hey, if I get all of this stuff, you know, can you give me any kind of a deal? And I was expecting him to give me like maybe a few dollars off, like, I don't know, a small percentage of the total. And he ended up going through my basket with me and discounting every single item by a good amount. So I was really happy that I asked him, because you never know unless you ask. So I know I don't normally share cost of goods on my channel, but I thought I would just give you a little perspective into this sale. So I did spend $300 on 19 items. I got 19 items total, and yes, that's, you know, a little higher than I would typically pay at the thrift store, but these are those more unique items. I wouldn't pay that much for like, you know, run-of-the-mill Anthropologie tops, maybe if it was something super rare or something that had really good comps, but yeah, this average price point was a little bit higher, and some of these items might take a little bit longer to sell because they are vintage and you need that right buyer. But again, I think people are willing to pay more for those items that you don't see every day. So you're gonna see in the haul like the unique items that I decided to pick out, and like I said, I think people will pay more for them just because they are so unique and it's not something that you're gonna find easily, or that was my reasoning behind this. Let's just get into the haul and I'll show you what I picked out. Starting off the estate sale haul with clothing, and first up is this ZZ Top graphic band tee. Love the graphics on this. I have never found this one before. It says Heaven, Hell, or Houston, and it is a reproduction tee. It's a unisex size large, but just really cool graphics and color. That was the only tee that I grabbed, and then I mostly grabbed outerwear, and pretty much the rest of the pieces are vintage. And first up is this vintage sweater, and it's got all this Americana, American flag designs on it. I really like that. It's oversized. It has like the sweatshirt style cuffs and collar. Here's the tag. It is by Sugar Street Weavers. It's a size medium, made in the USA, but again, just like a cool oversized fit. Kind of reminds me of some Show Me Your Moo stuff I've seen before. Okay, you know I love my Southwestern style stuff, so of course I grabbed this jacket just based on the pattern, and then I love the fringe detail. It hits a little bit higher, like at the hip, and the brand is Casual Corner, and it's a size medium. Most of our stuff is a size medium because, again, stuff at estate sales usually comes from the same person. Couple denim jackets. The first one is cropped, and it has a bunch of fraying and distressing on it. Again, size medium on this one, and the back is really fun. Has more of the fraying, a little heart design, and then also it looks like they sewed this peace sign patch on it, so very like 60s, 70s hippie. And then this one was probably the first one that I grabbed because I just love this detailing. It reminds me a lot of Free People. That's kind of the vibe I go for when I look for vintage stuff. I think like Old Bohemian, Free People, what would they remake these days? And I just like all this velvet patchwork detail. It's got some floral, and here's the brand. This one is Juju, and it's a size small, but it kind of has an oversized fit. It has the detailing on the back as well, and just a really cool light wash. So this might be my favorite piece. Okay, this next jacket gives me Britney Spears in the Crossroads movie vibes. Let me know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but this is just a suede patchwork jacket with the denim details and also the crochet. It's lined. It's extremely good quality. It's in excellent condition. And this one's by Wilson's Leather. I've sold some Wilson's Leather jackets before. They have pretty good resale value, and this one is a size medium. The back's a little bit more plain, but then the sleeves, of course, have the detailing, and the sleeves are totally lined as well. So yeah, just a really fun piece. And then the final jacket I grabbed is this leather jacket, and it has this fox fur collar. It zips up the front. It does have some like built-in shoulder pads, but it has almost like a bomber style look to it. This one's really cool on. It's by a brand called Danielle. The size on it said 13-14, like junior sizing, but in my opinion, this one fits like a medium, and it's in excellent condition. So that was it for clothing. Now we're gonna do accessories. I picked up 5 handbags at the sale. I loved this lady's style. Definitely up my alley. All these retro 70s vibes. I'm pretty sure all of them are vintage. This one is the only one that might not be, and it's this really cute mini bag. It's about the size of my hand, and it is faux leather. So it's synthetic, and it's just got this fun patchwork design. It's in excellent condition, and it's really cute. Like, you can carry it with the handle or use the long crossbody strap. Next up is this leather crossbody bag. I love the shape of this, and also the different color patchwork kind of tooled design on it. Has the buckle closure. It's got some whip stitching around it. I'm not sure if it's handmade. I do like it has this back pocket, so you don't have to open it up. You can keep stuff in the back, and it's easier to access. But yeah, just a really fun, nice design. This one is in excellent condition as well. Looks like it was barely used. The next vintage bag, I'm pretty sure this one was handmade. It does have a little more wear to it than some of the others, but I still wanted to get it because I really like how it has this floral tooled design on it. It's just a flap top. It doesn't have any kind of closure, and it's suede. It's a little more like slouchy and floppy, and then it's got the strap. So this one's probably more of a, I don't know, like a longer shoulder bag. You could probably wear it crossbody, but it'd be a little bit shorter, but just a unique handmade bag. And then this one is a little bit more of a Western style, and it is a shoulder bag, so it has the shorter strap, which I feel like I don't see that as often anymore, or people don't carry shoulder bags as much anymore, but I love the shape of this one, and it also is just a flap top closure, and it has almost this handle looking hardware on it. It's got feet. It's excellent quality, and it has this little pocket up top, and this one's actually by Justin. So there's the Justin logo in the corner, which I didn't even know Justin made handbags. Like, I know they make boots, and I've sold some belts by Justin as well, which is a Western wear company, but now I know they make bags. And this one, again, excellent condition, great quality, and just a kind of different style shoulder bag. And then this one might be my favorite because it's just such a unique tooled leather bag. It's pretty big, like a saddlebag style. It does have some, as you can tell, like water spots and things like that. I wiped it down with leather conditioner, but this just adds to the character of the bag in my opinion. And it's got the floral tooled design, and look at this extremely unique closure. It's like a little twist, and then it just opens like that. The inside of it's pretty big, and yeah, just a really different bag. And it's got a lot of space to it. It does have these initials on it, MJ, which in my opinion is not a big deal. And it's got the like buckle detail right here, which is really nice. It looks like a leather belt, and yeah, just a super cool, unique bag. Moving on to belts, she had a lot of belts, especially a lot of chain belts, but I was pretty selective and just picked the ones I really liked. So first up, we'll start with this little animal chain belt. It's a little bit skinnier than some of the animal ones I've picked up in the past, but it's just a really fun belt. It does have some tarnishing and stuff due to age because it is vintage, but other than that, it's in really good condition and just a unique piece to add to any outfit. And then the other chain belt that I grabbed is this gold one, and it kind of gives me like 80s Chanel vibes, and it's got like little bags, locks, and keys and stuff on it. And then two old leather belts with really cool buckles. So first up, this one has the like raccoon buckle, and it almost looks like it's wood grain under there, and then it's got this like resin or glass top. It's a brass buckle. It does say solid brass on the back, and it's on just a tan leather belt, which does have some signs of age and things like that because it is vintage. So you could always change out the belt part if this isn't your size or doesn't fit you. This one's a 38, but I will sell as is, and I just love that buckle. That's so cool to me. And then the other belt has this brass buckle. It says, "Old truckers never die, they just stay loaded." And it's got like little trucks on it. Again, this is a solid brass buckle. It's by this brand, Heritage Buckles, which I've never heard of. I will look it up. And it's just on this tooled leather belt with this really cool design. Again, the belt has some wear, but I think it adds to the look, or you could, again, change it out because these just snap on and off. So I picked them up because, again, just like a unique piece. I love unique vintage sunglasses. This pair definitely stood out. It has a really interesting shape to them. So they're, you know, not your perfect circle or oval or anything like that. And then also the arm sits a little bit lower, and they have this little bend in them. So just a really funky, unique pair of shades, and they are handmade. So that's the only marking on them, handmade in France. There's no brand or anything like that, but you can just tell they're extremely good quality. And then finally for shoes, I picked up two pairs of Western boots, and this first pair is a vintage pair of Zodiac cowboy boots. And if you look up close, you can see the Zodiac logo right there, and it's got these fun tassels. Just a really nice tan leather. I mean, there is some discoloration on the like foot area. I did polish and clean these up, but overall they are in really good condition. There's just a little bit of wear on the bottoms. These are a size 9. The other pair of boots are Laredo by Dan Post, and these are not vintage, but they are a really nice pair of leather cowboy boots, and I love this floral and arrow design on them. These look like they've barely been worn. There's the Laredo brand. These are size 8, and yeah, just a really cool boho Western look there. Okay, that's everything I got today. If you enjoyed this haul and seeing some behind the scenes at the estate sale, please give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more estate sale shopping, thrifting, Poshmark related videos. And I will see you in tomorrow's video for Thriftmas day number 21. Bye guys.